Today's discussion will be looking into the effects of Western media representation on developing countries like Ghana and by extension Africa. I have examples to represent real cases of how negative reporting in Africa and Africans affects the continent and her people. The first is reported by Melanie Pierce. She narrates the story of Sunny Shivara, a Zimbabwean media industry professional who moved to Australia from England. Now, Pierce's reports quoted Shivara to have said that when Shivara moved from England, where she grew up, to North-South Wales in Australia, she noticed she was being regarded differently to what the picture was in England. Now, another thing Shivara also realized was that people were surprised that she was studying in a tertiary institution for which her family must be proud. She added that all of such misconceptions could have stemmed from negative reporting by the media of what is to be an African. The way Ms. Shivara feels about society's portrayal of Africans has led her to embark on a piece of research at PhD level in order to survey how African immigrants in Australia perceive the way they are being represented in the media. Now, a critical look at the report reveals that the New South Wales community that Ms. Shivara referred to above had a negative perception about Africans, which makes them think that every African migrant arrived there as a refugee. They also think that Africans may not be intelligent and as such are not capable of studying in a tertiary institution. The writer assumes this push-up mainly because of the nature of the questions members of New South Wales community posed to Ms. Shivara. Now, another example in line with this misrepresentation of Africa and Africans by the Western media is a question as to why Western media get it wrong when they take over Africa. The answer is contained in the belief that Western media refuse to pay attention to the lived experiences of thousands of people, thousands of literate writers, thousands of reporters, informants, and journalists, but create a knowledge hierarchy that seems to be based largely on race. A good example to drive the above point home involves the coverage of South Sudanese situation. Believed to have caused an eruption on Twitter among South Sudanese online community who saw the coverage to represent a complete digression from the situation on the ground. Now, taking this into consideration, in an article entitled "Why the Western Media Gets Africa Wrong," Nyabola suggested that when given the opportunity to choose between a reporter whose truth is conditioned by race and another whose truth is based on lived experiences on the ground, a person is bound to believe the latter. Baker's reports also suggested that the consequences of Western portrayal of Africa leads to excessive fear of foreigners and immigrants, misinformation, stereotyping, and mishandling of foreign policy intervention. In this type of bias, the media focuses on stories that are of interest to humans in order to identify emotional stories while failing to present the broader economic, social, political issues in the world or involved. Now, it's believed that focusing on the emotions hinder the analysis of events and its implications on political and social domains. A good example to clarify this relates to a recent outbreak of Ebola in West Africa, well, some areas of West Africa. Now, this was, however, presented by some media outlets to make it look like the whole of the African continent had been plagued by the virus. Popular headlines by the NBC News in the US read, "US sends team to fight Ebola outbreak." The above might sound as though the entire African continent was affected by the virus. Now, this is not to say that every Western media reportage is unbalanced and stereotypical, but the story half told carries a different meaning from the original. I'd like to support the then narrative. This is to encourage the news outlets to always look at the other side of the story. Not every immigrant is a refugee. Not every child in Ghana is hungry and deserves your sympathy. Not every African country is war-torn. Not every black man is poverty-stricken. We have universities just like other continents in the world. In fact, one of the first universities in the world was found in Africa, the University of Timbuktu. Ghana discovered oil in 2007, and after that historic discovery, we have successfully recorded 25 oil discoveries within our country. Now, before then and up till now, Ghana has always mined gold, diamond, and bauxite. We have beautiful landscapes, we have game reserves, waterfalls, and beaches. And finally, we have peace, we are hospitable, and we have love for our history. Thank you.